Exactly. It's always good to start the morning with laughs. You have a wonderful laugh. All right. Where are we? It's Wednesday already. I can't even believe it's Wednesday.
I thought the week was going by super slow. I'm like, oh my god, it's only Wednesday.
Really? Really? Not me. I mean, I don't know. It's weird. Like, last week flew, but the week before that, I was, like, dying. Like, literally, it was just going so slow. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Miss Donna Benz. All right. Who do we got hopping on here? I'm going to borrow her phone because I cannot remember to charge my tablets. I have 2 tablets. One that I got from Amanda, who does the program where you can get a free tablet. I got that, and then I already had a tablet. And for some reason, I cannot remember to charge them and bring them up here. So, I stole her phone.
That's okay, I don't need it anyway.
Right. So before we jump in here and talk about this very important topic, it's actually a topic that affects people right here in the local area. Before we do that, I need you guys to do me a favor and tag people. Let's get this out there. This is a more serious video, and it's very, very important that we raise awareness on this. So before I even start talking to Casey about what she does and what the program she works for does, let's go ahead and start tagging and telling people, hey, you need to watch this later in the day. It's very important. So I know you guys will do that, and I appreciate that. Good morning, Melissa. Good morning to all of you guys that are hopping on. If you hop on, be sure to say hi. All right, so be sure to say hi. Now, y'all know I go live Tuesday through Friday right here in the Big Blue Studio, but I'm changing things up a little bit. I'm excited. I'm excited. I will be filming my first radio podcast live morning show Friday from Jack FM.
That's exciting.
It's exciting. I'm like, oh my god, it's nerve-wracking. I'm kind of scared. But we're going to film the morning show there. We're going to download it. Then we're going to send it to audio and all that to get it on their radio. And then we're going to send it to them for the podcast. So a lot of work involved in that. But I'm really, really excited because I've got cool people like the Loaded Brush and everybody joining for that. So, all right. So this is important. I'm going to jump in here and I'm going to ask Casey about who she is and what you do. Casey, where do you work? What do we do?
Okay, so my name is Casey Washington. I am the volunteer coordinator at CASA of Red River. And if you don't already know, which hopefully you do, CASA is court-appointed special advocates. And we advocate for foster children in the foster care system while they're going through their removals and while they're in their cases. We are there advocating for these kids' best interests and making sure they're getting everything that they want and they need.
Wow. That is a lot. That is a lot. So child service advocates, correct?
Court-appointed special advocates.
Okay, cool. Oh, see? I'm glad Casey's here.
Just say CASA.
Okay, CASA. And so that's a local program. They have a local, is it called program or chapter here in?
We call it an organization, so we're a nonprofit organization.
Okay, perfect. So we're about to ask some questions, so I want you to tag. Let's get people on. So, all right, so tell me a little bit about what your organization does.
Okay, so our organization is volunteer-based. We have volunteers who come in, go through training, they get certified so they can be around these kids just because these are neglected and abused kids, so you have to go through extensive background checks to be able to work around them. And you basically build relationships with them, and you're advocating for what they want, what they need. As a volunteer, you make sure you speak to their parents, their foster families, their placements, wherever they're at, their teachers, their doctors, making sure they're getting their medications they need if they're in foster care, if they're in school and they need special assistance, making sure they're getting everything they need at school so they can succeed. And you're talking to the attorneys and everyone involved with the case. You are talking to them, making sure that these kids, whatever they're doing is in their best interest so they can have a smooth ride throughout their case, only because it's hard being a kid in the foster system.
I mean, they're already dealing with being removed from their home and moved to different locations, brand new people.
Exactly.
They're dealing with, sometimes they have to deal with the police asking them a lot of questions.
Right. And it's scary, especially as a kid. A lot of them don't want to talk, or they don't know how to, or they think that everyone's like out to get them, and so it's really important, like as a volunteer and as a CASA, that you build a relationship with them so they can trust you. You need to be that one person that they can trust throughout the entire situation.
Wow, because they have had their trust broken
Absolutely.
so many times by so many people. A lot of times, the people that they're supposed to trust the most are the ones that are actually doing it.
Right.
So one thing, I was always confused because there's multiple programs. So, you've got like To Engage, we talked about that. You've got CPS, I guess, is a different program. And so now you guys deal with kids that have been like abused, they've been neglected, and all of that type of stuff. So, obviously, before you guys get in, there's other programs that will go pick up the children. And then what you do is you assign someone to them, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
so once they're removed from their home, CASA will get a case, and then we will assign a volunteer to the case to work with them. But we do have about 70 cases that don't have any volunteers on them, and so our supervisors are working overtime taking care of these cases that don't have volunteers on them.
Wow. And so that's one thing that I talked to your director about, I believe, was the fact that, it's really hard to find volunteers. Like, obviously if you're retired, or we talked about like military moms, or someone that has that time to devote, it would help to keep these children local, because a lot of the children, they're having to be moved. How far are they getting moved off to?
We have kids all the way in Houston. They span from here to Houston. And we do have some kids out of state if they're placed with like relatives, but there's like a very lack of foster families right now. And so all of our kids are in foster families 4, 5, 6 hours away, sometimes 10 on the rare
Oh my
occasion.
God. And so that slows down the case
absolutely.
and getting their life back on track. And that means that they're being jumped and moved, and to be relocated from everything, and I'm getting the chills, which is crazy, but I can only imagine you're bouncing around as it is. You're seeing new people, new faces, sleeping in new homes, and even for kids that have been abused, it's still, that was their home.
Right.
Like, they knew their cousin, their aunt, their uncle,
that's all
they knew, and you're taking them from that and saying, hey, well, you're not necessarily.
Right.
The system is. And then they go through different workers. They may go through different CPS workers, or they might go through, so CASA volunteers are the one person.
Yes, they're the one constant person in their lives during that whole entire situation.
Wow. So if you have a heart for children, and you want to be a volunteer, you can definitely do that. You can also foster. Now, foster, there's a lot more rules and different hoops to jump through, correct?
Yes.
But the cool thing is you can do that, or you can encourage people by sharing this video. And like, I wanted to raise awareness about this because when I had talked to the director, and he said that, there's tons of children being sent all the way to Houston, and they're local children right here in Wichita Falls. And I did some research. I was helping someone with a paper on it, and we were talking about it. And so it's really crazy that the situation at hand, like, there's so many children but no volunteers.
Right.
And yeah, obviously there's workers with like CPS, there's workers with To Engage, in which they're probably short-staffed too, because it's really a stressful job.
It is.
Yes. Really a stressful job getting these children from, sometimes they pick them up from the police station, or the police station brings them to them, and then they're working with the child, but they're working with multiple children, tons of cases. And so what a volunteer does, if I'm correct, is that's the one person you volunteer for that child. Now, you don't have to have 5 children, right?
You don't have to have 5 children, and sometimes you can get a case that has sibling sets on them, but you do kind of get to read about your case before you choose it, and we kind of try to fit you with the case that we think would be best for you, and so the cases aren't just thrown at you randomly. So you do get a case that you will be comfortable with. You can look over it, and you're like, okay, this is a fit for me, so hopefully you can build that relationship with that kid. And so there are cases where there are sibling sets, and so there could be 2, 3 siblings, but usually as a volunteer you work on one case. We do have volunteers who have been doing this for 10, 15 years, and they do multiple cases just because they're more experienced, but usually they're all about one case.
That's amazing, though. That's amazing that there are people that, because it's, it's not anything necessarily easy, but there's a big need for it. There's
Right.
a big need to help these children. And so you're not really necessarily the ones that make the decisions. You're the one that's there for the kids.
Yes.
So it's a big difference. You're not the one that is like, dealing with, they're actually there just for the children. And to be, to talk to the children, to get them set up with what they need. Because they, sometimes if they've been neglected, I'm sure they need doctor's visits and all kinds of stuff. Somebody's got to set that up. And it helps the foster parent, correct,
Right.
to manage that, because that's a lot to take on.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Usually
a lot.
the foster parent, they handle all their medical visits and stuff like that, but we are there to just check in, make sure that everything's going okay, they're getting what they need, they're getting their medication, especially when it comes to doctor's visits. We also check in on their education, talk to their teachers, we'll go to meetings, make sure that they're getting all the assistance they need in school, and just basically anything they need, we are there to make sure they're getting it.
I have to say she is so passionate, and she's got so much energy in her, and you just know so much about what you do. You are passionate, and I just love to see that in you.
Thank you.
Like, I love to see that. Don't you guys? Like, I'm just, like, blown away by her. Literally, I'm blown away by her. I couldn't have anybody better sitting on the couch with me about this right
if
now.
If it wasn't 7:30 in the morning, I'd be a little bit more energetic.
Oh, whatever. No, guys, she is doing fantastic. So if you're just hopping on real quick, we're going to circle back around. I am here with Miss Casey Washington,
yes.
Correct? And she is with CASA, and CASA stands for?
Court-appointed special advocate.
Okay, because I'm like, let me not mess that up again. And so they're court-appointed special advocates, and they advocate for the child. All right, so this is very important because a lot of children here in Wichita Falls, there's tons of cases, I'm sure. Are there new cases pouring in every day, pretty much?
We do get cases pretty much every day. We don't get to take on all the cases so there's all the kids that get removed, we don't get to take on all of those cases just because there is a lack of volunteers, and so we don't see all of the cases that come through, but we do get majority of them, and so yes, we do have cases pretty much every day, some days more than others, of course.
And you would have it, not to say worse, but it would be if you actually had the ability to help them.
Right.
Where are they going with the ones that, like, do they have to go to other cities, or like the cases, with the overflow?
They do find placements for them in other cities, like we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
They can go all the way down to Houston, wherever they can find a placement for them. The Children's Aid Society here in Wichita is really great about taking in kids when they have space available. It's just, they go to wherever they can find a placement for them pretty much right now, just because there is a lack of foster care and foster homes for them.
Wow, and there is a big lack of volunteers. So if you know someone, and I'm not necessarily targeting, but I am targeting. Like, if you know someone that has the time, maybe somebody retired, or someone, excuse me, it's live, so I can't do that. But someone that has that time, or that, maybe misses their kids, or they can't have kids, or whatever, and they want to be a part of someone's bigger picture, because these kids go through so much. Like, they go through so much. And a lot of times, if they don't get the help and they're shuffled through, they become, criminals, or they get lost in the justice system,
That happens all the time, yes.
And it's very, very sad that these are children right here in Wichita Falls. So if I can encourage you, don't tag someone and say, hey, you need to volunteer. Like, I'm not saying to do all that, but I'm just saying tag someone so they can watch this video. Who knows, if we get this out there to enough people, maybe we can make a difference. Now, do you take volunteers from around Wichita Falls too? How does that work?
So we cover Archer County, Monte County, Wichita County, and Clay County. And so we have an office out in Monte County. We have an office in Bowie. And so a lot of our volunteers, we don't get as many cases from around there just because the towns are smaller. So we do get a few. It's just not as many as we do get from Wichita. So we do have people who cover that area. But so we do accept volunteers from around the area, and if they're closer to Montague County, they can volunteer with our Bowie office, and if they're closer to us, they can volunteer with our Wichita office.
That is good to know. So I want you guys tagging and getting this out there, guys, because there's a big need for this, and people are like, well, why is there... Literally, it's children. They can't take care of themselves. I mean, come on
they
now.
They didn't ask for any.
They didn't, and it's local children being put yourself in that place. Like, if you're a kid and you're being shuffled all over, your original home is Wichita Falls, and then you wind up in Houston. Can you imagine the culture shock?
Right. Yeah.
To, like, the school
scary.
system to go... I mean, I'm not saying Wichita Falls is small, but it's not a Houston. It's that, so the kids that are going through this, I mean, I'm just sitting here visualizing. I don't know, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm visualizing them, dealing with the police, dealing with, CPS and different situations, and CPS is a great program, and so is To Engage. They're dealing with them, but then they get fostered out or they get put somewhere. They have to live and sleep somewhere until they can find a family member. So there is a lot. I'm sure there is a lot of things going on.
Absolutely.
They don't really get to see their parents for a while, I'm sure, until
in some cases, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, it could be really... And then to go from Wichita Falls to all the traffic, all the noise of Houston or, maybe Dallas. You've got different towns, and can you imagine? Like, especially... What are the ages that you see? Like, I mean, I know we can't talk about case-specific,
right.
but...
We help kids all the way from 0 to 17 years old. So, usually the kids age out of the foster system once they're 18 years old. But we have been taking on some baby cases lately. A lot of our kids are usually like 3 and older, but we do get some baby cases sometimes. So all ages 0 to 17 is who we see and who we help.
Wow, and that is so tough, I'm sure. Oh my gosh. And so definitely I want to get this out there. So I'm going to read some of these comments, and most of them are just saying hi. They're not really asking it. You can ask questions if you want to ask questions. So one good question, I guess, was how do you sign up to volunteer? What's some of the rules on that?
So really all you do to sign up to volunteer is come and contact us, and that gets you started. We can do an interview, we go through training, and the training usually lasts about 3.5 weeks. We do 7 training sessions, and so it's about 30 hours of training. We have trainings like every other month. Our next training is June 6th or 6th. One of those days, it's on the 5th or the 6th, and that'll start our next training up. And so if you're wanting to volunteer, you can contact our office. You can call us, 940-766-0552, or go to our website. So yeah, it's pretty easy to get started volunteering. I can't say that it's easy once you are volunteer, but it's definitely worth it, I would say.
I'm sure it's really rewarding to see, like, the difference in a child's life.
Absolutely, it definitely is, and you can tell the differences. We have kids all the time. We received a text from one of our supervisors. One of our CASA kids had texted her and basically said, "Thank you for changing my life. You have helped me through all of this," and I can look back and say one day that my CASA helped me do all this.
Wow, I literally got the chills again. Seriously, like, y'all, look at the chills on this arm, like, and it's not because I'm cold. Because I'm not necessarily cold. I have a jacket on, so that's absolutely crazy. Morgan says, this is amazing, the work you do for these kids. May God bless you for all you do in these kids. And I totally believe that, 100%. What I love most about CASA is it's making sure the kid gets what they need. It's making sure it's not, deciding ultimately where they go or what's going on in those situations. It's helping the child. Right. So that part is advocating for them, which is super, super important. Christina Fowler's Clement, she says, I love this. I think it's important to use, and that's one reason I reached out to you guys, because it's not only important for me to talk about all the fun stuff, like, Art Walk coming up, and all those good things, and, we've got giveaways from Leathercraft by Leo, we've got multiple businesses doing parties and stuff, but to also talk about important things going on here in North Texas, like, in Texoma. So I have named my radio show. I'm excited. I was looking for a name. Secret? No, I'm going to say it because you're special. I like her. Oh my God. We're like friends for life. Like, she's so cute. So, who remembers the name of that? Who remembers the name of that? I mentioned it yesterday, and so that radio show is going to be popping off. Maria Barrera with Luna's Ice Cream will be on the first episode that we'll film. Yeah, we're going to film that live from Go To Girl, but at Jack FM at their radio station. So that's coming up, and I'm so excited about that. So if you want to get on the radio station, yes, the Loaded Brush. Boy, I love you, Tracy. The Loaded Brush is on. She knows everything I talk about. This girl hangs on all of that. It is That's What's Up, Texhoma.
That is super cute.
That's what's up.
Name.
So
Yeah.
no matter what's up, that's what's up. Like that's it. Thank you. Eddie Mandela came up with the That's What's Up, and I was like, well, that's what's up with the Go To Girl. And I was like, wait, that's what's up Texhoma, because I can't say that's what's up Wichita Falls, because we're talking about Montague County just a minute ago, so we can't just narrow it down to Wichita Falls. So I thought that was perfect. Now, another thing, Mother's Day is coming up.
It is.
Oh my gosh.
I can't believe it's already Mother's Day. Wow.
I know. I know. It'll be
fast.
Christmas before we know it. We'll be like, let's hope not. Let's hope not. But Mother's Day is coming up. There's several of people that watch me that have things going on and specials, So, guys, if you know anybody that has something, or if you have something going on for Mother's Day, put that in the comments. People go back and read comments to these videos all the time. They catch them later in the day. So if you have something like Leathercraft by Leo, we're going to be pulling winners on his giveaway pretty soon, because he has like a $150 leather wallet and like a $300 bag that he's So we're gonna
join this.
I'm telling you, guys, get on that. So there's gonna be that. Eddie and I was talking about doing a Mother's Day basket. If you'd like us to promote something that I can give away on the Friday before Mother's Day. If you guys want to donate something from your business to talk about on camera, I can find time to fit that in. We will do that. Let's see. Loaded Brush says they've got a Mom and Me Bloom Adult Sip and Paint Night.
That'd be so fun.
How is mom and the kid are sipping together? What adult? Like, I'm lost.
Probably,
I'm
it would be definitely
Mom
adults.
and
You
me,
like,
guys.
You're an adult, and then you take your adult mother. Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was like, bet. Like, this is really weird. Okay. All right. Just kidding, Tracy. Gotcha. See, I love how quick your brain works in the morning. Oh, to be young again. Like, I'm literally. Clone says it's been a while since I've been on. Hello. I know, we got to get you on the radio. That is good. And that's going to be cool. So we're going to talk more about the guest and what we're here for. But I do want to remind you guys that if you want to get on the radio with me, I've got 4 spots left for July. I've already got May and June filled. I've got some spots open for July, but here's how it works. You get to be on the morning show just like this. It's going to be at Jack FM. You get some pictures at the radio station. I mean, I'm the photographer, so it's not like pictures, but it's with their banner and at the radio station for your page. All that for $75, and I would book for... Now, it films early, though, because it'll be live. Like, one's being done Friday at the radio station, and it's going to be live on the show from the radio station, and then it gets sent over, and then it airs in June on the radio. So kind of booking in advance, getting them all filmed and downloaded and sent over, because they go to multiple places. So want to get on that. All right, so real quick, I do want to mention again at the beginning of this video, if you missed it, you need to go back and watch it. We're going to get this uploaded to my YouTube also, which is the Go To Girl. Casey Washington was here with Casa.
Yes.
And so, guys, I'm going to let her give y'all a rundown. We've got very few minutes left. So, Casey, tell me again who you are, what you guys do, and how to get set up as a volunteer.
I am the volunteer coordinator for CASA. It stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates, and we advocate for foster kids in the foster care system. We work with all types of kids, and usually those are abused and neglected kids. We advocate for their best interests while they're going through all of their court dates and school and everything that they have going on. Once they're removed from their home, we are there making sure they have everything they need and they could want to make the process as smooth as possible.
Wow. So we need to get this out there, because this affects local children here in the Wichita Falls area. Literally, These are kids that are right here in our hometown. They're being shipped all over. So if, a lot of people donate their time and they volunteer to programs and things. This is a harder one. I'm not going to lie. It takes a lot more out of you, I'm sure, but it's a lot more rewarding as well. I would say that it's probably very rewarding, and you could be potentially saving someone's life. And if you've got a heart for kids, if you put yourself in their shoes, I mean, they need someone consistent that's local. There's a lack of foster homes here. They're being sent all the way to Dallas and surrounding areas to be fostered. And then there's a lack of local volunteers as well. So you can get set up with them, and you can even just look into the program so and you share it. Like, you don't necessarily have to do that. You can also donate. You can do a lot of different things to help with this program to make it a little bit easier to help children in this area.
Absolutely.
So you can always reach out to Miss Casey.
Somebody said they'd love to get more information. You can go to CasaWF.org, and we have all the information on our website. So
yes, or you can call Casey.
Yeah,
call
me,
her.
76605.
Call Casey. Casey is fantastic. So I think it's a great program, and thank you, Brandon, for asking for that. I would love to get this out there. And like I said, even if you can't be a part of it, or, I'm sure that, people do Christmas gift things all year round to raise donations for the kids,
Yes.
So that's something I'm sure y'all could take as well. Is there items that those kids need that you can recommend that people donate?
We take everything new, so we don't accept used stuff just because of the risks that can go on from that. But we usually just a lot of times accept toys. We do accept clothing donations, but not as often as we just accept toys and stuff like that, and maybe like basic hygiene necessities and blankets and pillows and stuff like that, things that we can take to them. We have these things called bags of hope that we do, and whenever a kid gets removed, we can take them a bag of hope, and it has basic necessities. It has a blanket, a pillow for them, and stuff like that, just so they're not... They don't have, nothing, because a lot of times these kids go into the care with nothing but the clothes on their back, and so we try to give them just a little something.
That is just crazy to imagine children coming from the home, and then they don't have clothing, they don't have toothbrushes, they don't have, and they have nothing, literally. I mean, children go through this every day, y'all. Literally every day they've been neglected or abused. So they're already, I know they're already used to being mistreated and stuff, but then not only this, they're shuffled into being, talking to the police, talking to investigators, being placed with different adults, until they figure out where they can actually get settled, because there's processes, in that fostering and stuff. So it's a lot. It's a lot. So if somebody wanted to donate, how can they donate? Whether it's financially or it's gifts, or what would be some ways?
You can donate financially. We have options on our website. You can bring up donations to the office. You can also donate toys, necessities that you think they might need, stuff like that. So yeah, you can bring donations to our office. You can go to our website and you can donate there too.
Now, I know you have a Facebook. I almost forgot.
We do have a Facebook.
They have a Facebook, and they host events that are really cool. Like, y'all just had an event where you did an auction or something. I don't know. Tell me about that.
We had a gala, and it was our 40th anniversary gala, and it was a big fundraiser we had, and it was really fun. We had a band, a casino night. There was poker tables.
I looked that up. I was like, wait, Casa has some cool stuff going on that they can, and y'all had a lot of good sponsors. Y'all had some casinos sponsor, and I think. She was like, I don't know.
It was a casino night themed gala, but we did have a lot of sponsors. We gave away some trips. Some raffles, yeah.
I was like, wow, how cool is it? So, and that's a really good way to donate to a nonprofit and have fun with that. Mm-hmm. So I hope you can follow their page. I'm going to have you type that in. Let's do that. So they can follow the different events if they want to even just do some of their events to be involved in this, or volunteer to help with an event. There's a lot of ways that you can help without putting yourself completely into a high stress position with volunteering for this. So, some people that can handle, if you have always had a heart for children and you can handle high stress, that there's not a lot of people like you, please volunteer. Like, I'm sure there's not a lot of people like you that could do that. But if you know that that's not something you can do, there's still other ways that you can help out. There needs to be a pop-up for all nonprofits for kids, and I believe there does. That's something I would like to look into in the future, is finding a location to set up like a informative pop-up that is for the community. So people could go around and like talk, and Brenda has mentioned that to me, get service information on different services and different programs and stuff. And I think people would tend to say, oh, well, that's no fun because I'm not doing anything super exciting, but they're informative to get to know. So like a morning pop-up.
And there are some events that we do. There's a couple weeks ago, there was a nonprofit showcase, and so it's just hard getting the word about, like,
come to Go To Girl. Yeah. Like, yes, let Go To Girl know, and we'll make sure we take care of you. I will sponsor you. Okay. Yes, awesome. You can just write me something out so they know that, like, when I do the IRS, that it was a free video. like it was like, I donated, guys, seriously. So let's get this out there. Please, please raise awareness. Guys, it's very important to do that. Rick, my timekeeper, God, what would I do without Rick's telling me the time. So again, guys, I've got a lot of stuff coming up. I do have a link if you want to get on the radio. Literally only got 4 spaces left for July on the radio. Again, you can catch That's What's Up Texhoma on Jack FM starting at the end of May.
Oh, I'm nervous. Tune into that.
The last 2 Sundays in May, you can catch it. And so you can play it in your car, and you can check that out. And sometimes I'll give viewers special mentions in the radio show. Literally, because of the fact, I've decided to make things easier when I do the radio show. Mm-hmm. It's going to be live, and it's just going to be downloaded. So it's just like this.
Yes.
So, like, Rick, for example, is going to get to hear himself on the radio. Woo! And it was so crazy yesterday. It was just weird. Like, I was y'all remember my video, my breakfast video? Oh, God, it was so good. It was, my Spanish is terrible, but it was good.
On video?
I did. Oh, my God. Like 1,000, that's why I'm fat, because like 1,000 people watched it like that. Like that video, anytime I do food, so I was like, In fact, me and Grafted Tree might need to skip the radio thing and go eat, because they'll really watch your videos. But anyways, that video was popping, and I ran into 2 people from Arby's that are managers at Arby's, and they're like, hey, I told you that's the Go To Girl. I told you. And anyways, they kind of knew me, and then they go, we've been hearing we heard all your commercials on Jack FM because we listened to it at work. Bet, because somebody's always like, oh, I don't know if people listen to the radio. Well, apparently a lot of people do. Apparently they do. Because there are some people, like I was talking to Jamie O, friend of mine, we were talking about how on the radio, sometimes people don't want to pay for commercial-free streaming or anything, so they just turn on the radio and go about business. So that's what's up, Jack FM. That's what's up, Texhoma. Like, I'm ready for this. What's up, TJ? TJ has an event coming up. I'm not going to tell you what the event is. I want you to go over to Tequila Mary's and find out what that event is. So you can check that out on his page. Go over there, find that out. Cupcakes by Amber says, good morning, guys. Rick was already telling me, and I am 2 minutes over, so I gotta go. I gotta head. Casey, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on here.
Yes.
I'm super happy to be able to spread awareness.
Yes, I think we'll do a follow-up in a month or so. Like maybe a couple months. We'll get you in over here, talk about the program.
Do I get to be on the radio show?
Yeah, ooh, I may have. Girl, she's like, I will sell you on. Yeah, that'd be cool, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, you're super. Yeah, I'm gonna give you cards to tell everybody about me. We'll put you to work. Like, hey, I'm just kidding. All right, guys, don't forget Art Walk's coming up. A lot of cool stuff. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Smooches. Oh, tonight Wednesday. I'll be with the Loaded Brush tonight. Be sure to tune in for that special episode. Smooches.